Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Fauci, her ongoing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life forms and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
First thing you're gonna do, Amy, is you're gonna give me a roll. Roll a 20, a d20 for me, if you would, please.
Can I roll it in person?
If you can, yeah, if you want to roll it in person, go ahead, roll in
See
person.
this fucking dice? It is a 12.
12. Okay.
I'm so
So
excited I get to use my dice.
Any
Here's my-
opportunity you have.
yeah. So like basically with the synopsis, some of your crewmates had rather vivid dreams. They were haunted by these dreams, enough to be disturbed later on through the day, or come
Is
and
this like a
crash.
schism storyline?
Kinda.
Okay.
You just rolled a 12, so your dream was roughly the same as everybody else's, but you are really, when you wake up, you don't really recall the dream, but you recall that there is like earth music was involved.
I was
No,
about to say, didn't we say it was Blondie?
yeah.
Blondie.
Earth-
Yeah, Blondie. Yeah, Blondie.
what the rest of them, basically what the rest of your crewmates dreamed about, was being aboard a ship and going underneath red alert in order to put on your exosuits in case there's going to be a hull breach. And you manage to get your exosuit on, and just as soon as you get your exosuit on and sealed up, there is a hull breach and the entire ship actually explodes. You are jettisoned out from the ship and you are tumbling out in space.
This is like a collective trauma event amongst the crew that remember this dream.
So yeah, it's kind of a really very, very trauma-induced dream. But some of you guys can remember some of the details. The only details that you remember is the music. Now, in the process of you being jettisoned out of, like I said, you remember, you're jettisoned from the ship. What happens is their suit becomes damaged. You're not able to produce any, send any signals out, but you're able to receive, and the only thing you're able to receive is actually this music that is being pumped into your suit. The other thing is as you're being jettisoned out, or as you're like jettisoned out and floating in space, just kind of like tumbling, you see a Borg cube and some Federation starships exchanging fire back and forth. And then you see the Borg cube warp away, and the remaining Federation starships warp away, chasing after the Borg cube. Basically leaving you with the wreckage of your ship, your dead crewmates floating around you.
Join
And-
Starfleet, they said. It would be fun, they said.
And
So
the
bad shit goes down.
so yeah, you just basically it is a horrible nightmare. And the only thing that is there to comfort you is this music being pumped into your suit. So like I said, you wake up, you don't remember anything of the dream other than the music. That's all you remember. And you also realize that everybody, like Vulto, is not in the room with you.
Honey, where are you? So, who are these sideways people coming to greet me at my door?
Oh, you're gonna find out.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Knock, knock. As soon as you open the door, you see two Starfleet officers standing in front of you, and they'll, by their pips, you can see that one is definitely the captain,
To what do I
and
owe the pleasure?
he's like, "Well, good morning to you two as well. I'm your Captain John Avon. This here is my first officer, Spears.
I feel like I'm not facing the right way to address these people.
Apparently, you missed this morning's briefing. I kind of left it kind of open for you guys to go ahead and get yourself comfortable and relax a little bit before you got into the swing of things. The rest of your crew members have done so. They are all the way already reporting in, taking care of their duties. So I mean, I'm not going to hold it against you that you slept in, but
This
just
sounds passive aggressive.
So
All right,
basically,
Captain, what is my assignment?
your assignment is to basically you're going to be partnering with the Exospheres and myself. Your specialty is in communications, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And he's like, as well as both myself and Spears here.
Oh, we should have a fun time, the three of us.
I enjoy your enthusiasm. He says, beyond that, wish to have you, welcome you aboard.
It is an
Meet
honor
you
to be here,
formally.
sir.
And he goes, what you guys done for Starbase 137 or 173, excuse me, was absolutely stellar. Bob Vosseller had spoke highly and vouched for all of you.
Well,
And
that's
he's
kind
like,
of him.
yeah, and he's like, he goes, I'm really, really happy that finally I'll have a crew here that is be more than, you know, acceptable to take our place when we retire from this vessel. He's like he wants to he is being moved on to other things, moved on to another ship along with Spears. So basically you are Spears's replacement and eventually you're going to be eventually Spears' replacement or Captain, Avon's replacement.
Okay.
Yeah. So the captain goes, if you don't mind, I have some other duties. I got some briefings to attend to before I go ahead and start up my next shift. Spears, you got this under control? And she goes, yes, sir. And he goes, well, I'll leave you two to it. Once again, thanks for, or not thanks. He's like, looking forward to working with you. And he walks away. Why? First officer turns to you and she's like, would you care for a cup of coffee or some breakfast before we get started?
I would love a cup of tea.
And she's like, mess hall is down this way. Technical difficulty, hamster.
So
she's like, over here's our, this is our
won't
mess
let me
hall.
select my token again, by the way. Move over here.
This is where I'm going.
That's where I want. I want my tea.
So commercial break over. Spears shows you the replicators, and she's like, if you choose to get something to eat or food or something to drink, by all means, I can basically walk and talk or sit here and talk you through all this stuff while
Sure.
you're eating or drinking.
I can multitask.
And she sits down, pulls this. At this point in time, you realize that she's holding two data pads. The one she's sitting there, she's kind of like she's typing on a little bit. You know, you can see her that she's like moving stuff around and all whatnot on the data pad. And then when she's done typing on it, she spins it around and slides it towards you across the table.
Now it's just sideways or portrait style, since one of us is facing one way and the other is facing the other.
Apparently, you're just canonically like on your side constantly.
You're the constant like recline, like
Hate me like one of your French
one of your
women.
French swords. I was just gonna say that too.
Now I'm on the same level.
I didn't even notice you rotated her.
So yeah, she slides you a data pad across the table. And she's like, "Here you go. Here's your data pad. From this, you'll have your daily briefings. You will get your messages. What is going on? What is happening? You know. Um, there you'll also get your daily assignments. And not only that, it'll let you like basically guide you around the ship, show you here and there what is going on. One of the most important things in this fleet is communications. Um, to be able to report back in what is going on, what is happening, um, to get advice, get support, get supplies, but not only that, to basically tell apart you know what is enemy, what is friend, to decipher different languages, you know what is the difference between eat and caution in in Klingon is just a whole syllable, and that's all there is to it. And if you get it wrong, somebody could be dead. She's like, this data pad links you along with into the ship. You and the ship can talk back and forth to each other. If at any point in time that you know you need to access the
I
ship's
will
status back,
treasure it forever.
yeah, anything you need to access the ship's database or even Starfleet's database, you can do it through that pad.
Okay,
Awesome. All right.
I'm ready to go. What's my next mission?
Your next mission, honestly, we're gonna go through some linguistic exercises.
Great. Am I gonna have to pull out a pen and paper for these linguistic exercises?
No. So you two are actually sitting there, you're working on it. And as you're working on it, working through these exercises, um,
I feel like we're doing a crossword puzzle, but
pretty
Starfleet.
kinda. It's a weird, it's a weird, definitely technical issues, and I'm not going to expand upon it. But as you're going through these exercises, you're suddenly finding it harder and harder to focus, and
I think it's
you
because I'm
you find
sideways.
you hear
Tommy! Da,
yes,
da, 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 da.
it is basically echoing in your head, and you're finding it harder and harder to concentrate. And after like maybe 5 or 10 minutes of this, you like you go to her.
Commander Spears, I feel like I should go to medbay and get my examination done.
She's like, wait, what?
I'm due for an examination.
You're due for an exam. Oh, the physical.
Yes.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yes, yes. Yeah, you should be screened, especially being that we really kind of did come out of a quarantine area, quarantine class area. Yeah, you know what? Most definitely. I'm going to we'll come back to these exercises at another time. She basically she swipes her pad and holds it up, and she like type does like a quick typing type of deal, and then she like swipes across her pad again. And when she does that, it's basically the screen on your pad changes. When the screen on your pad changes, it becomes like a map of the ship with a complete layout. And you see a kind of like much like
Are you having fun?
much like Google Maps. It has like it marks your location, and then like basically kind of highlights a route, the quickest route down to the med bay. And all you have to do is follow the line on your data pad.
Okay.
So
I think I can handle that.
she's like, looks at you and like goes, "Best of luck. When
Thank
you're all
you.
said and done, send me a message and we'll pick up where we left off."
Okay.
Uh, And she stands up and walks out that door. And your data pad is showing you to go out that door. Actually, at this point in time, you're over here. You're unconscious. You're laying in a. You're laying.
Hey, buddy! What did you call this shit again? Water?
Nah.
How do you pronounce your character's name?
Jaeya.
Jaeya.
Oh,
my
that's
character
right. They were
Duncan's not
drinking
here.
moonshine last time, right?
West Virginian moonshine.
This.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama,
Mama,
take
take
me
me
home.
home, country road.
Take
That
me
sounds so
home
bad.
to the place
You what?
I belong.
I didn't hear
West
that.
Virginia,
Mountain Mama,
Mama, take
take
me
me home,
home,
country
country
roads.
road.
Okay, so Eradani, you come into the medical bay and you see Jaeya laying down, and there's a
Oh no! What happened
and
to her?
he's like, well, honestly, I gave her. We did a celebratory shot of some West Virginia moonshine on,
That was a shot. That was.
and, and he goes, I know it has a kick, but I never figured it would be
Well,
that.
some
never-
Bajorans just can't hold their liquor.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm here for my exam. I also want to talk about the song I have stuck in my head. I'm presenting some symptoms. I'm worried it's from the quarantine protocols that I came from the previous starbase.
Okay, so he's
I
like,
just hear the
"Song?"
words "Call me" over and over again.
Yeah, he just basically he scans you up and down, and he's like, pulls out his data pad, looks at it, he's like, click, click, click. And he's like, okay, well, you're done. You're the epitome of like you're 100% healthy. As far as the music, I have no idea. Uh,
It's getting really hard and difficult to concentrate. Is there anything you can give me maybe to suppress it?
I'm gonna give
The
you this
hypospray of
earth
some
drug called Adderall.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't tell me I had an STD.
he walks
Sorry.
over here to this table, and he switches out some other. He's like digging through his tools. He's like, you know what? Go ahead, sit on this exam table over here, real quick. Now, what are you talking about? Music?
I have this persistent late 20th century Earth song stuck in my head. Saying, "Call me." I can't understand the words that part, but call me. Call me any time. Call me. Over and over and over again.
You can't concentrate.
And it's making it very difficult to do my job.
Well,
No, I'm not sure entirely what my job is, but it's making it very difficult for me to do it.
it's funny you mentioned that. That's that there was. It was during this time that they kind of coined the phrase for such songs as earworms, but it was just
I've experienced that phenomenon before, but this is not quite that.
okay. Well, let me try scanning you with this, and he starts doing some other scans and
Can I face you?
checking other things, and then he's like, "Follow my finger," and he like holds up a finger, and he's like moving it back and forth in front of you, and there really isn't any other effect. He shines a light in your eye, and your pupil contracts
You're
like it
gonna hit my knee with a little thing next.
he's like, stand up once again. You know what? Stand up off the table, and I want you to put your arms out on either side, like
Your
a
prisoner?
bird, like a
Oh,
bird,
doctor.
like a bird trying to take flight.
Oh, am I spreading them too?
Oh, good
And then
God.
I want you to close your
Bastard fall
eyes,
asleep.
close your eyes, and tilt your head back.
You see anything up there?
Now tilt your head forward. Now open your eyes. So you're doing all of this stuff, and you manage to keep your balance. He's like, well, you're not showing any signs of a concussion or anything like that. He's just, I, I just don't know. Um, so Jaeya, you are at the moment you're having a dream about you and Jocelyn Callahan. You are on you're on the planet Bajor. There is a festival going on. There is bright streamers of, you know, paper streamers hanging down. There is singing and dancing in the street. Um, it's just like looks like a great citywide festival celebration happening. And you and Jocelyn are there, like in the middle of it. You are laughing and with one another and like dancing, kind of dancing in a circle.
Okay.
Um, you're having like the time of your lives. I mean, you're both feeling rather euphoric, and everything is great. And there is like flower petals raining down from the sky. You're like I said, it is really a magical moment. Um, in between some of these streamers of fabric, you see that there is like polished metal, like shiny polished metal, alternate like polished stone,
Okay.
and you kind of catch a glimpse of yourself and Jocelyn dancing in the reflection. But you notice that your reflection isn't of you.
Oh, God. Okay.
It's a Vulto.
It is.
He's
It is
out cold.
It's up to Kev.
actually it's Q. You
Ah!
see, it is. It is actually Q. It's Cubulus.
Okay.
That is that you
Oh, I
see.
thought he meant Q as in like John Delancey Q.
Now
No, Hugh.
Q.
No, Q as in
Yeah, Cumulus,
Cumulus,
the
yeah.
woman with the five.
So at this point, like I said, you realize you're like kind of like what's going on. I mean, you see it's Q, but she doesn't have the visor on. She
So,
doesn't
so when
have
I see it, so when I notice that it's Q, are both of our eyes wide? Am I like acting as Q in the reflection?
yeah, it's basically the when you move, Q in the reflection moves in the exact same way.
Okay, so I'm picturing myself being very wide-eyed, much like the side effect that I had, but not as severe.
Right. Um, you go to Jocelyn, you look at her, and you're like saying, "I am not." You turn to her and you like say, "I am not me."
Okay.
And she kind of like looks at you. She's like, "What are you talking about?" And you say once again, "I am not me." and then you like point to your reflections, or point to your reflection in the mirror, and you show her your reflection that it's not you, it's Q. And then when you turn to look at Jocelyn, Jocelyn isn't there. And it's still, you still hear the music and the streamers and the
Is this
flowers
music
falling out.
Blondie?
Yes.
Call me.
There's that damn song again.
And then you like turn back and you look at the reflection, and when you look back at the reflection, then you just see Q falling in space, falling over and over and over again.
So it's kind of like one of those dreams where you um, you're cliff diving without a parachute, and I'm assuming that's how I wake up, is I just jolt awake or something.
Exactly.
How much of a hangover does she have?
I only took one sip. Do you want me to roll something?
No.
Okay.
At this point in time, Dr. Hines is like, "Oh, whoa, you're awake." He comes over and he goes, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I didn't, I hope I didn't poison you. I hope I didn't make you sick." He's like, "It was just supposed to be a celebratory drink. I didn't mean to be that potent."
I'm gonna look at him and go, "It's not your fault. I'm not much of a drinker. I never was. Alcohol's not really my thing." But I figured for the sake of, celebrating a new life here, a new career on the USS Fauci, we would celebrate.
And it's like, "How do you feel? Are you okay?"
I feel fuzzy, but other than that, I'm alright.
Okay. And he's like, "Well, good, because we just got our first patient here. Apparently you two know each other. You guys came together."
Oh, Eradani, hello. It's nice to finally
We're
see
not
you
together,
awake.
but we arrived on the same shuttlecraft.
I'm gonna sit up and go like, "Oh, Eradani,
But
you're
I'm glad
awake.
she's doing better.
Hello." How'd you sleep?
Well, I slept a lot better until Vulto left, and then it was a little troublesome.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not gonna ask any further questions.
Well,
I might have questions for Vulto later.
so Dr. Hines is like, "Well, our patient here seems to be plagued by music."
you
I've
I'm gonna look at her kind of like, I'm gonna kind of raise my one eyebrow, kind of like how Matt does sometimes. Yeah, much like he's doing right now. And be like, you too?
Yes, sir. Are you hearing it? I end up looking it up on my pad. It's call me
Call me
on the line. Call me any time. Call me. I'll arrive. You can call me any day or night. Call me.
That is exactly what it is.
Dr. Hines is just kind of like, he's like, "What?" Back and forth, just you know, he is definitely kind of like, I don't know what to do, what to say.
Well, damn it, man. Aren't you supposed to have the answers?
He's like,
He's a medical specialist, not a mind reader.
Maybe I need to have
It-
like a Vulcan meld with my hot lover Vulto.
He's like,
Inclined to your mind.
You can read all my dirty thoughts.
oh, the good Doctor Hides. He's like, I am 70 years old. I've been practicing medicine for you know, for well over 50 years now. He's like, this is the first I've ever heard of this. And he goes, well, as far as I know, this is the first case of it.
Maybe you should confer with some of your colleagues. Get
And he
a
goes,
well, the
second opinion.
well, well, Dr. Hines, you said this is the first time you've heard it as well. The first time you've heard of something happening like this, right? With like this music and all that. And I'm gonna bring up the Takev situation because I'm gonna say as I was giving Takev his physical, there was an interruption in the frequency, and we both simultaneously heard the music. The same thing.
Oh, so there's 3 of us.
Technically 4.
4. Well, maybe you should do a poll on this ship to see if there's anybody else.
I think Tarah is the only one that hasn't experienced said phenomenon.
Well, even she was whistling to the.
Yeah, I was whistling, but it wasn't someone that was so super intrusive. It was just like, subconsciously.
Well, yeah, but our characters don't know about that yet.
Yeah.
yeah. So you guys don't know about that, and like you said, the only one you know is
Is this only
you do.
affecting the members of our group? Or is this affecting others of the ship?
I think it's just the group, and well, as
Maybe we should come in here and be under observation.
as far as Jaeya is aware of, it's just Vulto, Takev, myself, and you. As far as we're aware of. But Tarah does know the situation because when Takev and I heard the interruption in the frequency during the physical, we both kind of looked at each other like, did you just hear that? And they noticed that, like, what are these 2 idiots doing? And Takev told Tarah the situation and what had happened. Right? That's how it happened, right?
Basically, then we went off and did our own thing, and your character doesn't know yet what my character experienced after that.
Yeah, we haven't, like, as far as we're aware of, this is like a few hours after we had already dispersed from the briefing. Jimmy sideways.
As a sidebar, I actually do have "Call Me" stuck in my head now.
So what do you guys think you should do next, both you and Eradani?
I think we should get the group together and ask everybody questions.
I feel like we need to at least, at the very least, call Takev up here, or down here, wherever the fuck we are. At the very least. Ideally, have a meeting with, like bring the rest of the crew in.
Yeah, and if the doctor orders it, then I have to come.
Ideally, we would like to have Vulto, Tarah, and Takev come in the med bay, and we can, like, all discuss, like, what happened, or, like, what at least, like, get their side of the story, excuse me. But if we can't get the whole group, at least have one of them. Ideally, Takev, because as we discussed last time, him and I had the same dream, just his was more vivid.
Well, I think that there's enough evidence that that it's affected our party,
Yeah,
and that we all should be brought down to medical bay. And
that's why I said ideally the whole group.
like, I think that's logical enough that
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of us should come down here and at least have a debriefing about it,
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
if not additional scans.
Yes.
Well, doctor at this point in time, the Dr. Hines is like, well, additional scans wouldn't hurt. And considering that you guys are seems to be there's more to you that are affected by this, I definitely also recommend this. I will definitely
Is Q on this ship?
Q is on this ship. She is
Yes, Q
hit
is,
Yeah,
yeah.
bring her too. Everyone that came from the starbase together.
and technically everybody that's a crew member on this ship now, like was at the starbase. They were on shore leave there.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's only us, as far as we know, that's being affected. So.
Yeah, Jaeya, the only people that know about the Q situation are the two Vulcans. Well, to be fair, we did hear the music, but mine faded away. Theirs just got louder. So as far as Jaeya's aware, she has no idea that Q is affected by this, or however you want to put it.
Affected?
All right. Probably send a message to Spheres and tell her that I'm going to be down here for a while through my data pad.
Okay, and Dr. Hines is also messaging the doctor or the Captain John, like basically says, yeah, I'm going to require the new crew members for extensive scans. There seems to be some kind of a situation. I'll keep you posted. So, does that suffice for you two?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we
Yeah.
can get the rest of the group in here so everybody else can play.
All right.
So everybody else can play and we can get some more good content.
Okay. At that
'Cause
point
it's been
in
almost an
time,
hour or over an hour.
Excellent a tune, you know. And
good
it
point,
is
Maria,
important.
because we're gonna switch over to you mopping the floors.
Oh, mopping the floors.
Yay, we get a break, Amy.
I'm gonna go back to playing Pokemon Go.
There you go.
I forget.
All right,
So-
I'm happily mopping the floors.
Sarah was she was mopping next to the control panels, and she actually kind of looks over and she kind of casually sees that there is a history report on a one subject Cumulus Massey.
Oh, that's nice.
And upon reading her history report, I mean you see it sitting and it's actually open.
Ah,
You see that she was recruited into Starfleet 2366,
okay.
and her completion date of graduating from Starfleet was 2367,
Mm-hmm.
and that she was a Starfleet Marine Corps.
She was
She
only
was a
in the academy for a year.
yes. Yeah, you see that she has been she was in Starfleet and was inducted into the Starfleet Marine Corps program, and then she was in the Starfleet Marine Corps augmentation program. And then then it says augmentations. See that he is a Starfleet. She was inducted into Starfleet, and the same year that she graduated. And
Right.
then you see that she was enlisted in the augmentation program, and Her biological augmentations were listed, but they're all classified. You can't read them.
Okay.
Then you see that she was also enlisted in Project Prometheus.
Hmm. Is that some like big thing that I would know about through my trainings?
Project Prometheus? No. You're
Okay.
like kind of like going, wait, Project Prometheus. And then it's like it says there's a full list of report that goes along with it. You can see that there's a whole nother list of report tab that goes along with it, but it's listed as classified as well. You
Okay.
can't read it.
Not
And
yet,
then
anyway.
you can see that she was assigned to the USS Bajoran.
Okay.
And then you see that the ship was lost in the Battle of Wolf 359. And she is the only survivor. She floated in space for
Oh.
78. She
So are
floated
we
in.
witnessing her memories in these dreams?
You also see that she was awarded the Bronze Palm and the Medal of Honor, and that she requested a dishonorable or dis. She requested an honorable discharge
Hmm.
and was given so.
Yet Starfleet can't seem to get rid of her.
Ah, interesting.
It's like the itch you just can't scratch.
All right. Can I download this information to my like little data pad? I can share it
Oh,
with my.
And to be like, you
I
can
tell you,
try.
you can try. I tell you what, you can roll for
Can she
computers.
take like pictures of it onto our data pad?
Well, it would make one. It's just we're in Trekland that I would download.
I know, but if it fails, can she take pictures of it?
I can't wait to see what you get.
Yeah, you're gonna have to roll
You
for
want me to do
computers.
computers? All right, I'm pulling my sheet up.
Please
Pull
get
your
a
sheet
nat
up
20.
and pull.
Please get a nat 20.
Knowing me, I'll set off the alarms or some shit.
Fucking
Oh,
A.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
see it. Oh no! Oh God!
19.
Fucking A. Okay.
Yeah, you're pretty you go to like you can actually go like swipe on the screen and it pops up on your data pad.
All right.
And it's there in your data pad.
All right, cool.
But it's also
Then I just like kind of just slip it into my like pocket or whatever.
That's gonna be our only good roll of the night.
Yeah.
it might be the only roll for the night. You were asking for a low back one, so I was going all right, So, that's probably about all I'd make you roll for, but
Okay.
at this point in time, you hear footsteps coming from around the corner. And you see that it is actually it's Officer Stanley.
It's your favorite guy.
Hello, Officer Stanley. I am busy mopping the floor.
And
He's like,
totally
Is
not
there
hacking
anything
into this
else? Is
computer.
there anything else that you would like me to do, sir?
and he's like, honestly, he's like, I'm really impressed. He's like, perhaps I did judge you too harshly. You know, my apologies. And he reaches out for the mop from
Okay,
you.
I hand him the mop.
Yeah. And you take it, and at that point in time, your data pad chimes in for an alert.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
I look at my data pad, and what is it? My alert saying?
And it's telling you to report to the medical bay.
Okay. Well, excuse me, sir. I got I have to report to the medical bay. So if you excuse me, sir.
He goes, yes, indeed. By all means, you are just.
All right, and then I head on over to the medical bay ASAP.
Your data pad doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
All right.
If she showed it to him, it would be encoded with a high enough priority.
Right.
No.
Right. Well, that's why I figured it was like a high enough priority where you just tell him, "Hey, I gotta go." You know, like okay, that outranks him.
I'm assuming the two Vulcans are next.
Yes.
The science and engineering bay. Um, here, you know, we we have to Kevin Vulto, kind of discussing some stuff back and forth, and had a moment to chat with Q, and she,
She was evasive.
to say the least. But not only that, at the same time, what really set things off was between Valto and Takev as they were like walking down the road, down the steps. Q's radio was playing, and as it was playing, you guessed it, the song was the exact same.
Yeah,
But
well,
as
we had a news report too, but
Yeah, we had a news report from the 1980s too.
yes, and basically Takev and Valto found out that this these radio waves were actually live back in 1984, and this radio station was broadcasting this, and it broadcast into space, and it just been um, expanding out further from
It was
the Earth.
78 degrees in San Francisco. Traffic is backed up on whatever highway it was, and that familiar Blondie's tune was also playing.
Yes.
1984. That was a good year.
Yeah.
was that the year you were born?
Yes.
Dude, I was in elementary school.
I wasn't
That's
even.
why
Same.
Vasco giggled.
I wasn't even remotely thought of.
Yeah.
Nope.
And so, and Takev actually talked to Massey about it and asked her, what was this? And then she pulled out an instrument, walked over and scanned Takev's head, looked at said scan that she got, and it's like, shook her head no. And she's like, you know what? I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved at all. I'm not getting involved at all. Lieutenant Nestor was just basically at this point in time was kind of weirded, perplexed kind of deal, and was like, "Wow, that's." He was like, "Wow, that was fascinating, guys." Q decided she was walking away. She's like, "I'm not getting involved in any of this. Keep me out." Um, at this point in time, both Vasco and or Vasco, Volto, sorry, and Takev get the message that you need to report to the medical bay. So at that point in time, like I said, Takev, you point out to Nestor that you guys need to go to medical bay, and that Q needs to as well. And Nestor's like, "Oh wow, something's up." And then he pulls out his data pad as well, and he's like, yep, I see that. Yep. You guys need to go to medical bay. Um
Are they gonna get a lollipop?
How does Q
From
react to
Nestor.
this?
and then he's like, "Ooh, Q needs to go too. I hope you guys ain't sick. Don't get me sick. If you get me sick, I'll be very, very upset." And that's when he walks down to Q and says, I need you or I need you to go down to report into medical bay. And she just kind of looks at her, she's like, what is all of this all about? And he's like, goes, I don't know. It's Dr. Hines' orders. It might be a quarantine thing.
I'm assuming Nestor here knows that the two Vulcans have to go too.
Yeah, he basically knows it right
Yeah,
straight
he
out the
just
go.
looked on his own data pad.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
if Nestor's conveying that to Q or not.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
just
he
kinda-
does unless you say otherwise.
Yes. So she just kind of sighs and she's like, okay.
While we're still in this room with the three of us, my feet are dangling off the edge of the bed much like before, like kind of like rubbing my temples a little bit.
Right.
You guys see my void?
I do not see your void. Hold on.
Yeah.
Cat break.
Oh, there it is. There's the eyeballs.
Once again.
Is that Remy?
Once again, another
All you
another
can
cat.
see are the
Yeah,
eyeballs.
we interrupt this game for kitty cats.
I'm assuming
Yeah,
that's Remy.
we see cats once again.
Yes.
Void.
Which one is that?
This is Logan.
Oh, it is.
Logan.
It's Logan. I demand the void have pets.
He's getting pets. He's purring.
I can't hear that. What the fuck?
You raised a hand.
Why did I raise my hand? No, fuck that.
I don't know.
No,
Here,
I
I'll raise my hand in solidarity.
I'll raise my hand too because
No,
why
no,
not?
I went to go drag Streamlabs up, and it accidentally clicked the hand.
So, Dr. Hines is over here kind of inspecting Tarah a little bit, and he's asking me all sorts of funny questions, like about music, and you're just kind of like in dreams. And have you had any weird dreams lately, there, Tarah?
No, I haven't had any dreams, but for some reason, I have this tune that I just like to whistle all of a sudden.
It's the song.
It's the song.
Like, what? And I kind of look at it, what song? Like I just like
Call
this weird
me
tune.
on the line.
Yeah,
Call
you
me,
know
call me, call me anytime.
Like what
Call
line? What's the
me.
line? You know, and then if you guys can explain it's the 1980s, because I don't know. All I know is this like little tune.
Well, none of you guys know it's like 1980s. You just know
Okay.
the tune. You know the tune.
All
it's
I
just-
know is that it's Earth music,
Mhm.
because Jocelyn is from Earth.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit of Earth music, but not a lot. But I've never heard this tune.
So at that point in time, the doors opened up, and Q comes walking in,
What's up, motherfuckers?
along with Vulto and Takev.
Eradani sees her main squeeze.
Ooh, Vulto. Looking good today. Your ears are quite pointy. Is that because of the sleep you got last night?
Are you sure there was sleep that was had?
Well, he had a restful night.
Mm.
I think that he meditated and then got some, quote, sleep. That wasn't
Think
actually
happy
sleep.
thoughts. Think happy thoughts.
Happy endings.
But he's quite quiet about the whole situation, clearly.
Chinese massage parlor.
That's right.
Happy endings.
Happy endings.
That's exactly how Tarah described it.
Yep.
And as soon as Nestor heard happy endings, he was like, "Oh, I hear we're having fun,"
Yeah.
which immediately made me like not like this character.
Vulto, do you not enjoy spending a night with me?
He's like, no matter what I answer,
Put
I feel
yourself
like
off mute and answer me, please.
he's like,
So Q's like, anyway, why is the damn up here? Can somebody kind of help me along and figure out why I've been summoned here? Um, I'm just. She's like, I'm just passing through. I don't. She's like, I'm a passenger on this bus waiting for my bus stop.
Does the word "call me" on the line, call me any time, call me mean anything to you?
And she's like, yeah, that's Blondie.
We don't
Uh,
know that. And all of
Well,
us
I don't
suddenly
think
have
that.
this song stuck in our head.
Well, I don't think that we technically know it as Blondie. We just know it as this tune we can't get out of our heads.
What is Blondie?
That sounds
What
illogical.
is a blondie?
I thought blondie
that
was a
is
dessert.
Yeah, it
that's
is technically a dessert, isn't it? Or isn't it like a white brownie
Yeah,
or something?
it's a white brownie cake mixture thingy or something.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, Jimmy.
anyway. She goes. There were a human Earth man from she's like from my planet Earth.
Human Earth
They
man.
were. She's like they were pretty famous back in the 80s.
Hmm. So
That's
why
what.
are we hearing this?
So what's so special about Blondie?
It's stuck in my head.
It's stuck in your head too.
Because is it stuck in your head, or is it something that you just listen to on that obnoxious thing that you call a radio?
And she just kind of seems like a little bit put back, kind of like almost. She's like, okay. She's like, a quick show of hands. How many of you hear this song?
I do not. I do not hear the song, but for some reason, I am whistling the song.
I had to. I'm sorry.
No, that was great. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was perfect. That was excellent. It's actually. Do you have an inspiration point yet?
No, no, I don't.
Does- you got one now. You got
Yay!
one now. As she goes around the room and she surveys that all of you have your hands raised. Um, everybody except for Dr. Hines. She goes, okay, Dr. Hines. She goes, don't take this the wrong way, but I think she goes, I think this would be a great opportunity for you to leave.
Oh, Jesus.
And Dr. Hines is like, excuse me, this is my. And she's like, what I'm about to talk about and discuss, you really don't want any part of, especially if you want to be functioning as a normal individual from this point on.
All right.
And Dr. Hines just kind of like looks at her and kind of reads what she is saying, and he's like, you know what? Point taken. Exactly. Yeah, I understand. I will. He's like, I will take your Q, and
He's
on
just
along.
gonna peace out.
Pretty much, he is straight up piecing. He is totally straight up piecing out. She goes, it's definitely classified beyond, you know, as far as Starfleet goes. Um, this is probably one of their many dirty secrets. And if you wish to carry on as uh, Starfleet members or prospective Starfleet members, and the with without a marred or jaded set of ideas, she goes, I would suggest that um, to take the good doctor's cue, and leave as well. But I can tell you this much that there's nothing wrong with you.
Then why won't it stop?
That is illogical to say that there is nothing wrong with me whenever my prefrontal cortex has been exhibiting extraordinary activity lately.
Can I ask a question to Q? Like, can I ask her if she's doing this to us on purpose, or is this just like pure coincidence?
It is pure coincidence. Yes, it is me. It is coming from me. But it is you are registering my latent power because you have latent power within you.
What species is Q?
She's human.
Mostly human, it seems. Augmented human.
So she's
What's
kind
her
of like,
power?
what's his face
Telepathy?
then? Oh, I already forgot his name too. Damn it. See, I didn't remember any names, but I remember certain references.
So is our latent power the power of friendship?
My power is telepathy. Telepathy. Uh, Telepathy, conjuration, and
Telepathy, conjuration.
at that point in time, she disappears and reappears over on the other side of the room.
Teleportation.
Huh? What? Huh? Oh.
She accidentally delete her player token and have it put back on the board.
I'm over here. You can't see me.
She goes, the universe is pretty much, as what I can explain to you, I'll explain it to you as it was explained to me. The universe is big. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know about, stuff that we've, you know, deem as magic. I mean, there's completely
A traveler.
This really is My Little Pony.
some say it's magic, but there is a scientific reason for everything. Um, for the most part, I use music to but it also serves as a buffer to keep my powers from overwhelming everything.
This is some Matrix shit.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Red pill or the blue pill, Jimmy?
Is her middle name somehow Anderson?
It's Keanu.
It is logical that her powers would affect the Vulcans first, since Vulcans have telepathic powers.
So why is I, as an Orion, been affected
And myself as a
so
Bajoran.
severely?
And me as an
I do
Android.
not know.
Well, you were all, you were all through, you went through Starfleet. You did your 4 years, but you guys came out the top of your class.
No, I didn't. I'm just here.
You didn't. No, but you did come from Bajoran, did you not?
That is correct.
You did go to academy on Bajoran, did you not?
Fair.
Did you not also graduate in the top of the class? Was Harold like you? You know, was hailed as a genius, as a rising star.
I didn't know that people knew about that, but all right. Your plan is fair.
So, I mean, she's looking at you and she's like, well, I mean, she's like, was not your friend Jocelyn? Is that not, enough proof to you that I, telepathic? I can read your mind like an open book. I've seen every experience that you can see, that you've seen.
Fascinating.
And I'm just gonna, at the thought of Jocelyn, I'm just gonna look at her and just not speak any further and just be like, nod my head.
So if you have telepathy, can you read my thoughts about what happened between Vulto and I last night?
Vasco.
She says,
And this is why he married me.
Is stumped.
This is
And,
why he married me, for my sense of humor.
and
Is
she's
that
like,
right, Vasco?
she goes, there isn't a garbage can handy.
Whoa!
Ouch.
Sorry.
Ouch.
She
Vasco,
goes,
you love me for my humor, right?
That
was
answer was vague and unconvincing.
oh.
Abbreviated
So,
cliff notes.
so that
Yeah, there's so much he left out. He's like, oh, we just got introduced to people, and, you know, the Vulcans went down to engineering, and Kat's character went to med bay, and that was pretty much it.
I'm
Nothing
making
interesting
sure
happened.
I mention abbreviated cliff notes.
Meanwhile, it's like group trauma event, all this other shit going on.
Terrorists off our superior officer.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Was
Oh,
Vasco
yeah.
sleeping part of the
He
time?
must have been.
maybe.
It
It wasn't a very riveting episode. I mean, it was mostly all about
was all off the
you
top
know,
of your head too, which I still find very impressive.
Mhm.
I'm still running off the top of my head somewhat.
Well, still, I find it quite impressive.
I mean, I'm just sitting here taking notes and writing some stuff down here and there, like key points that I need to keep track of. So, at this point in time, she's like, but my question still stands. Do you really want to know one of Starfleet's dirty secrets,
Well, you
or
can't just dangle that out there and not tell us.
Well,
I think that we should hear what she has to say.
I agree.
Yeah.
Me?
I don't think that Starfleet is quite as clean as it likes us to believe.
They're definitely hiding some.
I mean, I could tell you all about the night Vasco and I had together.
You don't need to tell us because we heard.
Yeah, we heard it.
So which her are you talking about?
Q, I'm assuming.
As for
I'm
you,
pulling Matt's chain, okay?
as for you, Orion, I could quite clearly hear what happened last night between you and Vulto.
Tara was
You won't
KTFO,
want
and I was just lying there.
rehashing? I'm quite proud of what happened last night.
Perhaps
Yeah,
you
we
should
bet
put
you
up
are.
sound dampening force fields next time.
Vulto, they didn't know you had it in you.
so?
Okay, so what does this cute lady have to say?
Well, she's good. First of all, she goes. Starfleet has known about the Borg for an extremely long time. Easily since like the beginning of the 23rd century. They knew they were out there. They knew that they were a threat, and they've been trying to combat it ever since. One of the ways they thought of was working in harnessing, finding individuals who were accelerated with these powers, with these latent abilities, and training them how to use them. Everybody knows that the Borg, you can sit there and you can shoot a phaser at them and it does nothing.
Mhm.
They're basically, damage proof, bulletproof, but they discovered that they're not immune to psionic energies. As a matter of fact, they're quite opposite. The psionic energies, uh, quite frankly, just cripples them.
That is logical based on our knowledge of what little knowledge of the Borg we have.
Well,
That
we
there
do
is
have,
some sort of hive mind.
And Jaeya
yes.
apparently being hailed as a genius also has a good memory, aka these recordings. And
Nah.
will later write this down because she gets the impression that she probably shouldn't be in her book writing stuff like this down in front of Q.
Well, I mean, she really doesn't care because this is like basically she is exposing some of Starfleet's dirty secrets. She goes, when I graduated from the academy, well, I was the youngest in my class, and I was immediately scooped up by the Marine Corps units
Mhm.
because of my telepathic abilities to be able to read people's minds, and then also to import my thoughts into other people's heads. Um, Once I was scooped up, I was initiated into Project Prometheus. Project Prometheus was a group of individuals who were a lot like me. She's like, I haven't seen anybody else from Project Prometheus. I have no idea where they're at. All I know is that I'm the only one that I think survived any of the trials. Um, what I mean by trials is they would battle test us, try to heighten our abilities, make them better,
Oh.
battle test us again. These augmentations that I have on my body are done to repair said damage to make me a more powerful, more super soldier to combat the Borg.
Okay.
And then once everything was done and put into place, my memories were wiped.
Hmm.
So you have no recollection of.
Of the experimentations, any of the battle testings, any of that.
This
It was
really is
completely
Matrix.
wiped. Once it was completely wiped, and I was assigned to the Bellefonte. You
Okay.
all know that the Bellefonte didn't survive the Battle of Wolf 359.
Mhm.
And you've somehow been projecting your memory of the Battle of Wolf 359 on us.
Yes, because it was through the trauma of the battle that I regained all of my memories.
Ooh. And therefore your memory of Blondie.
Memory of Blondie, memories of home,
Blondie!
memory of where I was originally, where I was abducted, where I was taken from.
Okay.
She wasn't really, I misspoke. I didn't want to use the word abducted. I mean, it was like she was taken from. She was basically recruited, groomed,
I was gonna say she was
and
space snapped.
yeah. She was basically recruited, groomed, and forced it into this
Recruited,
accelerated program.
groomed, and therefore doomed.
Yes. As I spent the next 72 hours floating in space, I swore that if I ever got out of that situation, that I would leave Starfleet and never, ever, ever join them again. But they seem to not, they're not willing to let me go because every time I get an opportunity to leave, they pull me back in. So
Perhaps we should just leave you on a planet without notifying Starfleet immediately.
she's like, that's what I would prefer. I would
Preferably
prefer to.
one close to the neutral zone. Or, no, maybe far away from the neutral zone. Close enough that the Starfleet won't want to bother. Then again, Section 31 would bother anywhere.
Section 31, those guys, they are everywhere. They are. She's like, I don't believe I've run into anybody in the ship that is part of Section 31. Most of the time, I can pick them out from a mile away, but she's like, I haven't seen anything. At first, I thought one of you guys would be Section 31, but so far I can see is no, you're just new recruits. But one thing's for certain, I can see that none of you have been brought in and experiment on to try to hone in your latent abilities to expand those abilities as weapons.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised they didn't take Vulto's hold my phaser and watch this mentality.
Yeah.
Phasers only work on the Borg if you use a frequency for the first time.
Yeah,
We
the first
adapt.
couple rotates.
Yep. You got 5 rotations and then you're done. Whereas psionic abilities bypass it, bypass their defenses. It fries them from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Section 31 and the Starfleet Marine Corps units knew about your guys' latent abilities at the same time as when I enlisted. You would all be part of. You would look a lot like I do, with bits and pieces missing off of you and replaced by machine.
It looks like your happiness was robbed from you.
Pretty much.
Starfleet's idea to defeat the Borg is to basically create Borg, except without the hive mind and with somewhat of a personality still.
Combining of the technological and biological.
Exactly.
Okay.
Fascinating. Somehow, I do not believe that replacing human body parts with artificial ones will do much to battle the Borg. However, the psionic abilities might.
I was gonna say, making it look obviously artificial seems a little excessive.
At this point in time, she walks over, or she like goes to Takev. She's like, you see this instruments here. These medical instruments. And she's pointing out some these scanners or whatever.
Yes.
And she's like, I want you to concentrate on those medical instruments to the best of your abilities, to Kev. Really, really focus on them.
Okay, focusing. What do I do?
And you're sitting there, you're focusing on them, and you hear that song in your head kind of swell a little bit. And go ahead and roll a d20 and then roll a d6.
Okay, roll. Okay,
Uh,
roll.
Vasco, you rolled awful.
Did you just want the Vulcans to do that?
just a Kev. I wanted Kev to do it, but that's all right, Vasco. You could do it too if you want. Give me a 20 as well.
He got a 4 and a 1.
You got a whole hot 12 or 5 there, and Kev has a 20 total.
Okay, so with a 2, 1, and a 4. So with that, the entire the scanner just you hear a loud pop. There's sparks coming out of it, and smoke starts coming out of it.
For the love of God.
One of the panels actually pops off and falls off to the side.
Well, that happened.
The two of you are just kind of go look at each other with a raised eyebrow. The rest of you in the room are kind of completely flabbergasted.
I zoned out for a second. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
The rest of you, basically they fried this piece of medical equipment. The two Vulcans turned to look at each other and raise an eyebrow, just kind of well, that's interesting. Well, as the rest of you,
as a medical specialist, Jaeya's kind of. Oh, hold on, let me turn Jaeya here. Jaeya turns and's like, huh?
you're like, oh shit, now that shit is broken.
Is it able to
Tarah,
be fixed, or is
boss,
it fucked?
it's kind of fucked. It's pretty fucked.
Okay.
I mean, Drani and Tara and Jam, the three of you are completely flabbergasted. Just kind of like, holy shit, what the hell just happened?
I'm gonna be like, I'm not explaining that to Hines. You guys can tell him about that one.
What was the point to that exercise?
The point to that exercise is that each of you have some of these latent abilities inside you, especially if you are singing or hearing that song that I was, that's been playing. You are.
I still have that
Hear-
song stuck in my head.
Yes. You have some of these latent abilities inside you. You
I
got to
must have
figure.
strong latent abilities because it's strongly stuck in my head.
I was gonna see what are all of our latent abilities here. Is this all the same
Oh
thing?
God. Is this one of these roll and then we get some weirdo ability thing?
You
Well,
can suddenly turn.
Don't
Yeah,
give him
you suddenly
ideas.
turn
Spaghetti
blue.
He was like, I'm.
You can make
You know-
people randomly lactate at will.
Ah,
She goes,
Starting with Matt.
Starting with Takev.
She goes, I would love to sit and figure these out for you, what your abilities and help you hone them and how to be, get trained and stuff like that. And then she's like, you know what? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't love to do any of this. I wouldn't love to do any of this. You're going to have to figure them out on your own. That's my suggestion. And the other suggestion is I wouldn't show anybody from Starfleet any of your abilities, no matter what. I would keep them a secret. As soon as you figure them out for them, you will figure them out for yourselves. But once you do, I would keep them a secret, especially from Starfleet, especially from Section 31.
Well, I don't want stuff augmented to my body. Have you seen my body? It's beautiful as it is.
I'm pretty sure Vulto's seen your body.
Oh, yes. He said it was quite beautiful and perfect. Right,
Most
Vulto?
humanoids
He's
seem
on
to
Vulto is on
enjoy.
mute.
Yeah,
Most
Vulto,
humanoids seem
come off
to
mute and compliment my body.
No pressure, Walter. No pressure.
Come on, Vulto.
Serenade your woman.
Compliment your wife, god damn it.
So she's telling you that you guys got to figure out all of your own latent abilities of what you can do, what you can't do on your own. But she's telling you that you all have these abilities to some degree.
Like the same abilities as her, or like vastly different abilities?
Same as her, possibly vastly different.
How do we tell?
Um, time, experience, when it comes up, you'll be able
X-Men
to.
in space.
Yeah.
X-Men in space.
Eventually you'll be able to, when you'll come across like, wait a minute, something happened that shouldn't have happened, and quite possibly you're the cause of it.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
That gives me an idea. Okay. But continue.
But anyway, she's like, are you satisfied with this answer? Probably not, but these are the answers I got for you. These are the answers I'm going to give you.
Well,
Um,
it's a start.
it's a start, is correct.
So where do we? How do we practice or hone these skills?
Experience, I guess.
Experience, and then
There's no training simulator on the holodeck.
We already failed one of those once.
yeah.
We passed the second time.
Yeah, because
Uh,
because Tarah went all murder hobo and was like, didn't even try and talk and was just like, nope,
No,
fuck you, this phaser's rated E for everybody.
The second time, I didn't fire a shot.
Neither did I.
I was trying to talk to them all the time, or protect people, or
Oh wait, no, I fired one shot. And then Tarah killed that one, and then they never saw me as a threat after that. Okay, anyway, sorry.
So, she's like, I would definitely not do anything on the holodeck because, FYI, those things are recorded.
Hmm.
I wouldn't do anything.
Is this entire game a holodeck simulation? Any then?
We wake up and we were in the holodeck all along.
Ooh.
It was all a dream, and Jaeya wakes up
that
and
would be the
Jocelyn's sleeping
lousiest
right next
ending.
door.
Matt says that would be the lousiest ending. You're probably right.
To
But
do what was it? Dallas or
Yeah.
And they all lived happily ever after.
she's like, this is my recommendation to you. As soon as you ever get off the ship and you're on your own,
Stare at rocks.
Stare at rocks.
Make rocks
that,
explode with your mind.
that's probably where I would practice. Figure out what you have, what what is going on. Um, you can probably practice on the ship, but definitely make sure that nobody's watching you. Which is like this exercise here in this room with the that medical equipment. She's like, that's highly too risky for even for me
Then why'd you have them do it?
to prove a point.
I'm about to see, she probably just wanted to see something happen.
I mean, I suppose we do owe her for almost getting her arrested, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I almost got all my stuff seized. Almost got all my stuff, taken from me. And
Uh,
some of that stuff is really irreplaceable. I mean,
all your
the,
personal
the
effects.
my personal effects, my narcless head. Do you have any idea how much money, how much platinum I paid for that narcless head?
I, what is a narcless?
very good question.
Matt's not gonna have any idea.
Sounds like
what
some sort of like Klingon delicacy.
it does. It's just Narclus's head with the said robot eye in the eye patch.
I'm assuming this is a reference to a previous campaign.
Yeah, Narclus
Yes.
was a Gerbine, which is a mouse, a character that I played who was basically like a paladin, and as a joke, wanted to skin something that they had just killed and got a nat 20 on it, and therefore the entire shtick of Narclus is anything that gets killed by Narclus or anybody else in the party gets skinned.
And the skins are stored in her mouth.
Yes, the skins were stored in my mouth, and then Jimmy's character and myself opened a skin shop after we defeated the final boss called Stuff'ems. Because we are just that sick. And the robot eye came from an enemy that was killed, and I wanted to take the eyeball as a fuck you. Which it was an appraiser's eye. Yeah,
Yes.
appraiser's eye. I
So
remember bits and bobs about that.
bits and bobs about that. So that's kind of a unique thing. Um, so yeah, that's definitely a unique thing about with that Narcless head. She puts the Narcless head on. She actually wears it like like a fancy hat, and it helps her appraise items that people bring her.
So it's an appraiser's hat.
It's an appraiser. It's a very nice hat.
Yeah, you have a nice hat, lady.
So, at that point in time, like being as you guys are like just kind of like sitting there digesting these thoughts and of what this whole load of information she dumped out on you. Um, there's like a chime over the intercom, and over the intercom comes in Captain John Avon, and he's like, "We are approaching our destination." Basically, he's like, "Say, we've reached the Call star system and reached a basically an asteroid field.
We're gonna stand there and try to destroy the asteroids with our minds.
No, we're like going into close orbit for to Artemis 6.
Ooh.
Artemis 6 is which is actually Q's destination. That's her protocol.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Artemis 6 is just basically it's an asteroid that's been terraformed. Rough terraformed. It's like it's got uh
Basic
art.
human compatible atmosphere.
It is basic human compatible atmosphere. It's got a false atmosphere around it. There's a dome.
Okay.
So what is the code to open up the shield? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, and I still need to change my. I need to change that code for my luggage if you don't mind.
Yeah, exactly.
So she looks at all you once again. She goes, "I guess this is my stop."
Well,
Good luck to you.
Will
Hope
this
you find the
song
peace you're looking for.
Yeah.
will this song stop once you're gone?
Yes, it should stop.
I
Actually,
guess there's
probably.
nothing left to say but call me.
for a good time, call 75309.
75309.
Peace and long life. May your journey be well.
I don't have my camera
Yeah.
on, but I'm also doing that.
Eh. So she's like, yeah, you too, Vulcan. I wish you all the best. I wish you all, I hope I see you all again. And if you ever run out there and into any, if you run into anything that like seems a little bit different or interesting, don't be afraid to stop by.
Will do.
And at that point in time, she walks out of the medical room and proceeds to go down to the shuttle bay. Leaving the five of you there in medical bay to discuss amongst yourselves.